From Robert Downey Jr.'s fuming appearance on Channel 4 to Jane Fonda's frustrated argument with Megyn Kelly, get ready to unpack some of the most emotionally charged moments that left fans, hosts, and even the celebrities themselves in shock. Here are some of the angriest celebrities to appear on talk shows. Starting off with Robert Downey Jr. The actor is widely empathized with for his painful past and issues with substance abuse. However, this did not stop Channel 4's Murthy from asking invasive questions about Jr.'s heartbreaking relationship with his father and drugs. The Iron Man actor became visibly agitated. Ignoring this, the interviewer continued to question Jr. about his painful past. Thankfully, the actor's PR team came to the rescue, signaling that the time for the interview was over and he could leave. Fans were enraged, and rightfully so, criticizing Murthy for his unprofessional attitude. Good on Robert Downey Jr. for standing up for himself. If I were in his shoes, I would not have been so respectful while leaving, that's for sure. As compared to Jr., when Kanye West was invited on the Sway in the Morning Show, the star hardly showed any courteousness. As he talked about the problems he faced when getting in the fashion industry, the artist became exceptionally furious. The artist went on a rant and was interrupted by Sway, who told Kanye to empower himself. This led to the West being infuriated and yelling at Sway, saying, "You ain't got the answers, man. I've been doing this more than you." Sway, however, calmed Kanye down effectively by saying that he loves him and has been to his concerts. Fans applauded Sway for dealing with Kanye's outrage maturely. Nonetheless, almost a decade later, after sitting with ABC News, Kanye admitted that he overreacted. The artist said, "I will go ahead and say Sway had the answer." Maybe Kanye could learn something from Lindsay Lohan, who handled a bad interview with some class. Lohan came on The Late Show with David Letterman to promote her upcoming movie, Scary Movie 5, while preparing for a court-appointed 90-day rehab session. Nonetheless, Letterman bombarded her with extremely invasive questions regarding her previous visits to rehab. Lohan, visibly uncomfortable, let the audience know that these questions were not discussed in the pre-interview. However, it seemed like Letterman was chasing a juicy headline, so he continued to question Lohan about her drug usage and shoplifting charges. Lindsay couldn't contain her emotions and was visibly upset, shedding a few tears towards the end of the interview. Fans from all over the world called Letterman out on his horrifying, vile, and misogynistic behavior. The disturbingly invasive nature of the Letterman interview made it a hard watch. Kudos to Lindsay for staying so professional under these circumstances. "I could never contain my anger and be so polite to an interviewer, clearly crossing numerous personal boundaries." When later asked how she felt about Letterman in an interview with E.T., Lohan said she loved and respected him. Despite the intense criticism faced by Letterman, Lindsay claims that she holds no grudges or ill feelings towards him. Speaking of crossing boundaries, we can't not mention Scarlett Johansson's interview with Extra TV. Scarlett Johansson was asked extremely uncomfortable questions that will make you physically cringe. The host questioned the star on whether she was able to wear undergarments underneath her suit. The actress felt awkward, but handled the situation perfectly. She questioned the intrusive nature of these questions with,
"What is going on? Since when did people start asking each other in interviews about their underwear?"
Even her co-star, Jeremy Renner, seemed extremely disturbed. The interviewer just could not take a hint and continued to make Scarlett uncomfortable by later asking if it was inappropriate. Talk about not being able to read cues? Fans reacted in extreme disgust towards the interviewer, calling his questions inappropriate and sexist. Scarlett Johansson is far more professional than I could ever be, because at the first sign of disrespect, I'd be out. That said, another celebrity known to call out interviewers on the spot is none other than Ariana Grande. In an interview with E.T., Diaz questioned Ariana about the backstory behind her song Break Your Heart Right Back. According to Diaz, Ari previously mentioned that she was cheated on by her boyfriend with another man. Grande was quick to snap back, saying, "People took my quote and made a headline about it. I know what you'll do." Though Ariana clarified that none of her exes cheated on her with a man, Diaz continued to imply that an ex in the past actually did, leading Ariana to irritatingly reveal that it was not an ex, but a man that she had a short-lived fling with. Fans supported the artist, applauding her for standing up for herself. Good on her for not letting the press make up stories about her exes. I know I would not want my ex to receive any attention after our breakup. Another highly justified outburst at an interviewer is from the widely loved Hassan Minhaj. In an interview on The Ellen Show, Ellen absolutely botched the pronunciation of the comedian's name. Hassan Minhaj is better than me because I would have left the show at that point. But Minhaj Minaj shared his experience of always having people mispronouncing his name. He elaborated on how people can easily pronounce white people's names, but when it comes to him, they butcher the pronunciation. He sarcastically explained how he chooses to call himself Timothy Chalamet in Starbucks because that seems easier for people to pronounce. Minaj passionately said, "If you can pronounce Ansel Elgort, you can pronounce Hassan Minaj." Fans praised Minaj, calling him naturally refreshing, and criticized Ellen for not learning how to pronounce the name of the guests she invites as a bare minimum. But not all celebrities have such controlled reactions. Samuel L. Jackson was infuriated when he appeared on the live morning show of KTLA. When the anchor confused him for Lawrence Fishburne, another actor who is African American, Jackson was quick to call him out. He irritatingly said, "You are just as crazy as the people on Twitter. We don't all look alike." Though the anchor tried to move on after making the embarrassing mistake, Jackson put the anchor in his place by letting him know that he was racist, incompetent, and closed-minded for confusing him with another person solely based on the color of his skin. Fans voiced their undying support to Jackson for calling out the anchor on the spot. They also criticized KTLA for making such a huge oversight. I think Jackson let him off the hook too easily, but it doesn't end here. Another jarring moment that made me physically recoil was when Sofia Vergara appeared on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. The Modern Family actress appeared alongside Gordon Ramsay. Gordon had been pretty touchy since the start of the interview, leading Vergara to say "no touching" at one point. When Leno showed a picture of Vergara eating a pizza with her hands, Gordon abruptly said, "You haven't heard of a knife and a fork?" He later made the environment even more prickly and tense by saying, "You just pick it up and stick it in," and began to laugh. Aside from this, Gordon also made numerous sexual innuendos towards Vergara. Talk about being plain disgusting. Even Leno himself continued to make fun of Vergara's accent throughout the interview, picking on the way she pronounced cookie. As a cherry on top, Gordon even disrespected the dish Vergara brought to the talk show. Her uneasiness was visible throughout this interview. She even called Gordon ignorant during the talk show. And if that was not enough, he even moved on to ask her to change her son's name. Vergara voiced her frustration by reminding Gordon to stop hijacking her interview and said, "This is my interview." Oof! Being in a situation like this would have triggered my fight-or-flight instincts. Fans were outraged by the disgusting behavior shown by Gordon and demanded he apologize for crossing so many lines. They also supported and uplifted Sofia for staying respectful and voicing her boundaries when she was uncomfortable. While we're on the topic of interviews that ended up being train wrecks, I could not have skipped out on Jane Fonda's outburst. Fonda appeared on the Megyn Kelly Today Show and was asked the most unexpected question. Though Fonda was there to promote a movie, Kelly abruptly asked her why she was not proud to admit that she had work done. Fonda looked Kelly up and down and said, "We really want to talk about that?" Though Kelly tried to recover from this situation, Fonda was quick to change the topic. Fonda later said that she was a little shocked by such a question, terming it a weird thing to ask. Kelly soon responded to that and said, "I gave her a chance to empower women, and she rejected it." She said that she had no regrets about asking that question. Fans from both sides voiced their support for their respective faves, saying that Fonda should have seen the question coming. Fans of Fonda, however, thought that the question as intrusive and unprofessional. Good on Fonda for standing firm on her ground and voicing her boundaries. So from Jane Fonda's train wreck of an interview to Robert Downey Jr.'s fuming appearance on Channel 4, these were the angriest celebrities to appear on talk shows.